Gather around the fire, my friends. Welcome to the Drunken Cryptids. I'm your guide, Matthew. Here, you'll hear encounters of the spooky, paranormal, the strange, and the unknown. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's showtime.
Was these two globes. I don't know how to describe them. And I stood up there and looked at them, and it's like...
That how she turned and looked at me, she backed straight up to my closet door.
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
I am drinking something I affectionately refer to as a Matty Rita.
And welcome back to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. I am your host, Matthew. And of course, with me tonight is Jacob. Jacob, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Look at that. He said hi, everybody. Look, Jacob's in the house. Yay. Look at that. You got an ovation there. That's crazy. So, but hey, everybody, we got a great episode coming on for you tonight. But let's get some of the front of the house stuff out of the way real quick. Dylan over there at Blade Media, man, I appreciate everything you've done. Dylan is a great graphic designer, graphic artist. He's working with the White County online newspaper and advertisements. He's doing a wonderful job up there. Y'all need to give him a check. Check him out. Give him a shout out. You need something done, Dylan will do it right for you. I can promise you that. He did our graphic for us, did our logo. I just told him what I wanted, and just like he read my mind. Thank you, Dylan, for everything. Gunner, Tommy, y'all are great producers, man. I would not be where I'm at now if it weren't for you guys. I appreciate it. You guys are the hard people working behind the scenes, and y'all got to put up with me all the time, so I definitely appreciate all the hard work you put into. And we will be at the Arkansas Paranormal Expo this October 26th and 27th. Come on down. We'll have the booth set up. We'll be selling t-shirts, coffee cups, maybe some koozies, maybe some coffee cups. As of now, t-shirts and stickers. And I do have t-shirts. I am now taking orders for t-shirts. $25 a t-shirt. I don't care what size. You just tell me what you want. If you go to the Facebook page and look through there, you'll see the t-shirt. They look great in the picture, but, you know, they're forest green. I mean, yeah, right, Jacob? They look forest green?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really forest green. They look gray, but they're forest green, and it looks sharp too. They did good material. I like the way I'm wearing it. I'm wearing one right now. So, and of course, if you've had an encounter, please email me drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us Facebook, Instagram. I keep forgetting we have Instagram now. Instagram, Spotify. Give us a like and a share. The more you share us, the more we're going to get out there. Share us with your friends. Share us with your enemies. Your enemies may even enjoy the show and might not be enemies anymore. You never know. Share it out there. The more you share us, you guys, give us a 5-star rating, 5-star review. I appreciate it all. But tonight I've got a guy coming in, and he's actually going to go by the name Dutch. And so Dutch has actually had some pretty interesting experiences in two countries, which is fascinating because Dutch, if I recall, you're kind of a dual citizen. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, Dutch, man, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming on board and wanting to share everything with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Well, all right. Well, Dutch, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll jump right into it.
All right. So, as you stated, my name's Dutch. I'm in my late 30s. I'm a retired infantier with the Canadian Armed Forces of 13 years, multiple deployments. I'm an avid hunter, outdoorsman, and a father.
So you used to be outside then?
Oh, yes.
All right. So which encounter do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the ones here, or do you want to start with Canada?
Let's start with the one here, the most recent.
Yeah, let's do that.
So this one perplexes me. It's what appeared to be swirls in the forest floor. Now, this was about April 2024. I say swirls. It was in the leaf litter, and the soil wasn't disturbed at all. not dug up, not tilled up, no disturb, just the leaves, and they were in these swirling patterns, counterclockwise. They varied in size. The average size was about a foot in diameter, and they stretched for an area. It appeared to be 20 to 30 feet wide, and by what I could assume was a couple hundred yards. I didn't follow it all the way. I just thought it was weird, noted it.
Now, when you say swirls, though, are you talking like, it starts at a point and spreads out, or?
When I observed it, it appeared to start in the middle and then swirled outwards. So take a pen and draw a swirl on a piece of paper.
Kind of like what they would have on some of the old cave paintings.
Like on the, yes.
What the Native Americans would leave.
Yes.
But do you know some people theorize that is actually like stargates?
This was in the leaf litter, though. Like, I've never seen it there before, and I've hunted that area for a long time.
And was it just the one?
No. It was many. So, like, when you first.
But the ground wasn't disturbed, though.
No, the soil was not disturbed. You could see the soil. It wasn't disturbed, and I had asked several people about it, and nobody can seem to tell me. My big question is, did an animal do it? Like, did something else? I don't know any animal sign like that.
Could be fairies.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
This is in the White County area, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ironic enough, so I interviewed a guy last night in White County, actually, who just recently had a Bigfoot encounter.
Okay, well, that'll.
And some of the areas that he talked about, believe it or not, are what you're going to talk about.
It doesn't shock me.
No, not anymore. Not me neither. I mean, it's pretty rare that I have two guys coming on from the same county, same area of the same county, who are going to have some. But now he didn't have swirls though, and the swirl thing kind of fascinates me. I'm thinking that it's going to be okay. So the leaf litter. So for those of you guys at home, so in the fall when the leaves fall down, you have the leaves on the ground. And so, am I correct on this, Dutch? So,
yes.
And what they did, or whoever it was, or whatever it was, did a giant swirl with just the leaves, and they cleared out away from the dirt, correct?
Multiple swirls, not just one.
Man, that sounds like fairies.
And it was, it wasn't just along a path either. It started along our path, and then it went into the wood line. It wandered in along the edge of the wood line, along the edge of the ridge. And it kind of dropped down the ridge a different direction than I needed to go.
That is crazy.
And like I said, it was about the pattern. So again, it was multiple swirls. There was some small ones, some bigger ones. But again, like I didn't observe any like hoof prints or anything like that, because I figured maybe hogs, but the soil wasn't disturbed. Maybe deer fighting, but it was around like in and amongst trees and stuff like that.
Well, the thing too, though, is even with the hogs, the soil underneath is going to be disturbed.
Yes.
I mean, they're not going to be careful to just move the leaves aside.
Well, yeah, that's I was just trying to rationalize what I was seeing, because I don't really understand still.
Yeah, that's got me a little baffled too. I'll tell you that I do know that, like, I want to say it's the puffer fish. It'll leave intricate patterns in the sand in the ocean to try and lure a mate in. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
look what I built. So, like when you started talking to me yesterday about, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
But this is no, man. This could be fairies. I'm stuck on a fairy kick for some reason. I have been for the past couple of weeks. Like, everything's fairies.
I honestly don't know much about that.
They're real mischievous. They're not Tinkerbell from what Disney puts out. And I'm sure everybody's sick and tired of me saying that because I've been mentioning it on the show all the time. But, yeah, they're not like Tinkerbell. Disney went and ruined. Yeah, they made fairies go, oh, look, fairies are friendly and sweet. No, they're not.
More like the Hellboy fairies, maybe?
Yeah, they're not really. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a really good description of them. Yeah, they're not good people or things or faith folk. But I mean, like I have a fairy garden out front, and for the longest time, this gnome that I had out front, and I did the fairy garden for my kids, and my kids think it's great.
Oh, my
And
daughter has one.
yeah, see, but this gnome kept being, it seemed like every other Friday, this gnome would be turned around. That would be on my front porch. And then one time when the house was tipped over, there was no storm or nothing. I was like, okay, are y'all mad at me or what did I do? So, you know, my witch friend's like going, you need to leave them honey or something shiny. I was like, no, they just need to leave me alone. You know, that kind of thing. So, did I leave them any honey or anything shiny? No. Have they messed with the gnome since? No. But
we put sweet potatoes up there, so in the off seasons. So.
Well, yeah. Well, you're trying to lure, in your prey.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It seems like White County right now seems to be a hot spot.
I mean, it's hard to get people to open up about it, but there's lots in the area.
Well, actually, so last weekend, about a week and a half ago, went to a Jeep event, and we had a guy telling us about, what did you say it was? Some kind of, what did he claim that they had up there? The Skinwalker or something?
I think he said that, Skinwalker.
Yeah, and I told you already my thoughts on the Skinwalker thing, though. But there's no Skinwalkers in Arkansas. But there's supposed to be some kind of, no, it was a dog man.
Was it the Dogman?
Yeah, it was a Dogman. They have a Dogman or something up there outside of Bald Knob.
No, it was a Skinwalker up at Bald Knob.
There's no Skinwalkers in Arkansas.
That's apparently they are claiming that they have one or two up there.
I'm gonna go with Dogman.
Did that could be a possibility?
I've only heard about the Dogman in the last few years.
Well,
honestly, I never.
The irony is the Dogman. So Dogman sightings are becoming more and more popular than Bigfoot sightings are.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, people are seeing more and more Dogman, and in this community, we're all trying to figure out why everybody's seeing Dogman all of a sudden. Like Bigfoot's like pulling out of the picture, but now all of a sudden, on my end, I'll be honest with you, I've had 0 reports of Dogman, and so far, you're the second guy in 24 hours to come up and say, "Hey, I'm having some kind of possible Squatch activity going on."
Yes.
So. Maybe the Squatches are moving into Arkansas, pushing the Dogmen out.
Especially in the exact same area. That's it.
Well, it's White County. I mean,
yeah,
we are so going to White County to check it out.
Need to.
We're going to. It's already set. We already got set in motion. But okay, so the swirl thing though. Okay,
Yes.
so you said 30 feet diameter, and it went around the trees.
It appeared to be 20 to 30 feet, like the borders, the left and right boundaries.
Yeah.
Appeared to be in between, somewhere around 20 to 30 feet. I didn't have a tape measure and I was eyeballing.
Yeah, so by eyeballing, though, did it look like the lines were evenly spaced, or were they kind of
No,
rough?
they were erratic.
So it was
like, oh, you mean on the circles?
Yeah.
So yes, they were. The best way for me to explain it kind of is, imagine a floor, like your floor, tile floor, linoleum, whatever, with leaf litter on it, and you put your fist down. And you just do from the center, and you do a spiral pattern outwards. That's what it looked like. But they were concentric. They just varied in sizes, and obviously placing. It wasn't like a checkerboard pattern or anything.
Right, just a swirl.
So on the.
But it was noticeable, and it was all over.
Okay. So on I'll let you go. My bad. No, because I was going to ask, when you look at it, on the interior design of it, does it look like something made it, or just like the wind?
Well, I don't know how recent it was.
I don't know how the wind's going to do that, dude. I know you're trying to spitball out there. I get you, but I mean, yeah, tornadoes can do weird stuff, but I don't think they're going to do that because nothing was disturbed on the soil.
And it's amongst trees, so like obviously I thought about like dust devils and all that.
Yeah.
On the starting part, sure, maybe, because that was kind of more open. It's like the path.
But it's not going to go through the trees.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's not going to go through the trees at all.
And I thought about, maybe somebody had somehow got around the rock wall and the gate. I was even thinking exhaust pointed down at the ground, but that would just do like a blast. It would blow the leaves away.
Yeah.
Now, this was in April of this year, right?
Yes.
Have you been back to the area since?
Oh, yes. I haven't seen it since.
Man,
And I've never seen it. I've never seen it before that.
Okay, so I'm
And
going to
I've-
ask. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you. I'm going to re-ask the same question I asked you yesterday when we were talking about this, and you weren't able to get a picture because.
I was out scouting for an area to hunt, and I don't bring my phone.
Understandable.
I mean, that's smart.
Well, I'll be honest with you. One thing I have learned is, especially dealing with the weird stuff, is always bring your phone just in case you get lost or something happens or anything like that.
I know the area. I can walk in any direction, and I'll run into a family member's property.
Well, that's good. I'm also worried about the 411 cases and everything else like that, to where people just wander off in the woods and just disappear. Now you're seeing squirrels in the area.
I mean,
Yeah,
where
Well,
I go hunt,
and
I
I've
don't-
only-
This is your property, though, right?
it's our hunting lease. It's in between. So where the location is, we have property on the east side as well as the west side.
Okay.
This is kind of it's less than a mile from the property on our east, and it also it along the ridge and just below it butts up against my uncle's property as well as my parents' property. Now there's a couple cattle fields in between that, but they're also fenced off from our wooded area because it's specifically for hunting.
Yeah.
There's also old structures up there from the Civil War time and whatnot, rock walls and different stuff.
Yeah, old ruins and everything from
Yes,
a bygone era.
yes.
Yeah, see, I just drew a swirl on my notes in front of me. I'm looking at it, and I'm just trying to, and I can picture it from the sky. And I'm just trying to figure out how, and nobody goes out there, correct?
No, just right, like when we're going leading up towards hunting season. Also, if we have like old stuff from our garden that goes bad, we'll take it up there and we'll throw it up there for the wildlife.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, and I may have, but I can't pull a memory up currently right now of swirls like this. But what I will do is I'll reach out to a couple of friends of mine who do what I do as well, and see if they have heard of anything like this at all.
I have no clue. Like,
And of course, if I can find something, I'll get back with you.
yes, please do.
Yeah,
I would
definitely
be
let
very
you know.
interested. Even if it's an animal, I'd like to know.
Yeah, I don't think an animal's gonna do a swirl thing though, unless he's like, I don't know, on a wheel or something like that. Got 2 legs, or I don't know. Supposed to
I
have
don't
4,
know.
it's only got 2 and a wheel. I mean, that, but the ground.
But it also
wasn't
wasn't disturbed.
Yeah, that's what drives me nuts about that.
I mean, at the same time, I'm looking up on on it, and nothing's popping up, even on internet or anything.
Yeah, I know who. I know. I got 2 guys off the top of my head. I'm gonna reach out to and talk to them about it. I already am. I talked to one of them about Tommy's the dress episode with the storm, like the Phantom Storm. Because I'd never heard of a Phantom Storm either. And sure enough, he did. I was like,
Phantom Storm.
that's crazy. So he was like, oh, yeah, dude, the Phantom Storm. Yeah, Phantom Storm comes up to where you're inside the house and look out the window and it's storming. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, it's raining. Then you walk outside and there's nothing. No rain, no trees down, no wet ground, sun is shining. Yeah.
I hadn't heard of that either. It's kind of like a mirage, just
No,
different.
it's supposed to be some kind of crazy Phantom Storm thing that, it's in the paranormal world. It happens. And Tommy, our producer, he did an episode. He talked about it, and I was, dumbfounded as well on that one. I was like, man, I believe I'm pretty knowledgeable, but apparently not. But again, through the bonus of doing this show, is you get to learn more.
Yeah, you're always learning.
You have to be, man. No, never be the smartest person in the room, and always be learning.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Always
this
ask
swirl thing.
questions.
Yeah, I'm looking at this swirl thing. About what time of day was it?
3 o'clock.
Okay, so it was
Between 3
April.
and
So
4.
yeah, we still weren't at the time change yet. So 3 o'clock is not quite. I mean, April. So it still gets dark around 6 at that time.
Yes.
So you still got a couple hours till sunset. That is crazy.
And I specifically went out towards later on just to try and observe. Squirrel season would be coming up eventually, and whatnot. So
Well, I got squirrels over here you can hunt.
by all means, I'll
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and they love teasing my dog. Poor guy. I mean, for real. But no, that is. Yeah, Dutch, I got to be honest with you. My mind's drawing a blank. I'm going to actually look this up. Now, I'm going to get with a couple of guys and reach out to
Okay.
them and see what they can maybe get. Because one of them, I am supposed to be talking to one of them here in the next couple of days about doing another a show with them.
Yes.
So, and then I got another guy as well. I can reach out to them. So I got a handful of people I can reach out to. And this the cool thing about being in this community is that there's other people to lean on. And so if
Yes.
one guy doesn't have it, there's always somebody else, and there's always somebody else, and then we can basically get down to somebody's like, oh man, I heard about this, and yeah, a similar event took place and over here, and
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
I haven't heard of it, and I asked like my brother and some other people in the family, and they asked the same thing. To just take a picture now, and they couldn't tell me either.
Well, next time you go out there, take your phone,
Yes.
take
Yes.
pictures, because like on a stable encounter, in 2015, the guy was there the week before,
Yes.
had the encounter, and
Mhm.
was smart enough to remember to bring and get it ready to record it when he had to go back there again. And
Okay.
the reason why the recording is kind of bad is because the guy is scared to death in the cab of his
Yes.
truck, and the window's halfway rolled down.
Yes, you could hear him. His voice that he was.
Yeah, you can hear in his voice. What is that? I mean, the guy's freaking out,
Yes.
And I talked to him off the air, and he looked at me and he's
Wasn't scared with the swirls. I was just.
Well, no, I don't think the squirrels would
bewildered,
scare
I
me,
think.
but yeah, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, going, what in the, what, but that's the whole the curiosity of mine right there, trying to figure out what made it.
Yes.
So here we are. So it's mid, you said April, right?
Yeah, I believe it was April. It was around that time frame because it wasn't too hot out. Some insects out, and there was a little bit like some foliage on the trees.
Okay, so we're probably I want to go probably about April, probably about mid-April time frame here, and then yeah, that makes no sense. What else has happened out there in that property?
So, along the same ridge, all this property is along a ridge and a creek that's named on the map that comes around by here. On the top of the ridge at my cousin's property, where my niece, I call her my niece. I guess she'd be my second cousin.
It's Arkansas.
She's my niece.
Yeah.
It was about 2023. No, it was 2023, about fall. My niece was playing, and she's looking around, playing, whatever. You can see her look down the ridge because they live right at the very top of this ridge, and it looks down to there's like a swampy area on the east side of this creek.
Okay, now
And
it's
then
the same
creek
area as
runs.
the swirl, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just about a mile to the east of that.
Okay.
She looks down, and then she stands up, and she looks around for her dad, and then calls for dad. So we get up there to see her, and she describes she was about 9 years old at the time, I believe. She described what she called a big hairy man was watching the ridge from the bottom down in this swampier area.
I'm going to ask you a strange question real quick.
Okay.
Is this Turkey Mountain area?
Yes.
Same area that the guy last night had encounters at.
Yep.
Yes.
No lie.
It's that area.
I wonder if y'all are related.
I don't believe so.
I'll have to find out. Yeah, because he had an encounter right in the same. Yeah. So your niece is looking down, sees big hairy man's calling for dad.
Yes. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So she calls for dad. This is also on ring cam. Now you can't see down the ridge on ring cam. You can just see her, and the whole thing go down with her, from her perspective. Or
from the
with
ring
the camera
camera.
on
Yeah,
her.
exactly. So yeah, the ring camera's only going to be like good for like right there, so it's not going to see down the ridge.
Yes. So we come over there, and she says she saw a big hairy man. So, well, what do you mean, a big hairy man? She says, a big hairy man. He didn't appear to have clothing on, but he didn't appear like nude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, uh, we went down to the area after getting prepared.
Okay.
We went down to the area.
So you
and,
armed yourselves pretty much.
we got prepared.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know. Nobody's supposed to be there. We're not gonna
It's Arkansas.
harm anybody if it is a person, but
It's Arkansas.
we also, yeah, we just don't want to be caught with our shoes tied together, basically.
Exactly.
No,
Oh, I'm with you. Same thing. I'm a big proponent to go into the woods. You go armed.
Yes.
So I got a friend of mine. She goes hiking all the time, and we were having a debate discussion about the other day, weren't we? About
yeah.
what she Carrie. Man, I got tongue tied there for a minute. But yeah, I always believe you go into the woods. I mean, it's not because of the cryptids or anything like that, but because, I mean, there's things in the woods that will look at us as prey.
No, you don't
Yeah,
know what you're
especially in
gonna
this area, like we've got mountain lion or whatever you guys call them here,
Yeah,
panthers, cougars,
the
or whatever.
the Black Panther side.
No, this is the regular ones right now. That's different.
Yeah, they're out there.
And we've got bear. These are all on game cam too.
I know.
The bear and
The funny part is we've had the bear down here in Little Rock.
and the bobcats. We've also got lots of bobcats up here.
Yep, and they will. Yeah, they're not going to kill, but they're going to attack. And then don't forget the hogs, the wild hogs. Yeah, they're vicious.
I haven't seen any wild hogs up this way, but
Probably
because that with the
Bigfoot's
swirls,
eating them.
yeah, there's a lot of prey back there. A lot of there's a large amount of food source.
Oh, I mean, I'm a firm believer in Bigfoot being in Arkansas. I really am. I honestly believe that he's here. And I think it's funny that in the past 24 hours, I've had 2 eyewitness accounts from the same area. And that's why when we started describing it, I went, are you talking about Turkey Mountain? Because that's what the guy described last night.
Yeah, it's along Turkey Mountain, and so Turkey Mountain would be the ridge part when I describe that, and then Bull Creek would be the lower part.
That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dutch, that's... Yeah, there's something going on in White County. Y'all got a hot spot.
There's been, I know of older people telling me about stuff they saw since the early 70s
Do tell.
in this area.
Oh, do tell.
My high school girlfriend's dad, he lived in the Romance area, and he, same thing, out in, it was a little less developed, a little more rural back then.
That still is pretty
obviously.
rural, yeah.
It still is, but there was more trees, basically.
Yeah.
And he same thing, camping out in the woods, and something was around their campsite, and they threw a rock and hit it, and it yelled, and they left and never went camping in that area again.
I don't blame them. They threw a rock, hit it, and yeah, that's.
I'm assuming they hit it. That's what he had told me.
You know, I have this theory here in Arkansas. I'm not gonna lie, and like we don't have an international airport here because everybody likes to duck hunt, and if it flies, it dies pretty much, and that's why they're afraid to have an international airport in Little Rock. But
it used to be an international.
Yeah, but it flies, it dies. You know, because I'm not from Arkansas. But the thing is it down here, this is what I love about Arkansas, is, you know, out in the woods, they're going to shoot first and ask questions later.
Always.
They're going to shoot and ask for forgiveness later. They're going to shoot, and then they're honest, too. They're like, hey, game warden or forest ranger guy, yeah, this thing was coming on up, and shot it.
Yeah. I mean, with my past military, I got a little... It's a little different for me. I'll observe first, and then...
Yeah, always check your targets.
Yeah, I'll go through the continuum and escalation of force.
And that's what I do. I'm the same way. The old habits die hard, to where you're not willing to pull the trigger until you know for sure that you need to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt somebody that does not deserve it.
Exactly. Same thing. That's why, you know, a lot of folks have in their head too, though, that, you know, combat veterans are nothing but, you know, bloodthirsty and trigger happy people, and we're the least likely trigger happy people I've ever met. No,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the job, but it would be awesome if it didn't need to exist.
You know, you're
nobody should need to. Well, I mean, I don't like fighting, but I'll do it if I have to.
Same way. I'm the same way. It's where I will avoid a fight as much as possible until I have to.
Yes.
You know, and the last option for me is always going to be a fight. Because my opinion is there's always another way out of it. But
Yeah.
you
And
know,
combat, even on a one-on-one, you're essentially doing the worst thing to another human.
yeah,
One of.
and if you don't, they're going to do it to you.
Yes.
I know that much for a fact. Okay, so you guys go down there. You got to get prepared. You go down there where your niece saw the
Yeah.
creature.
Now, we went down to the area. We didn't look for prints or anything like that. She described, again, she was about 9, described him as a big, hairy man. So we went down to the area, and there was like a pine tree or a white oak down there. I think it was a white oak. And she pointed to a branch where she said she's seen the top of his head. But again, she was up on the ridge. The branch she pointed to approximately, it appeared to be 9 foot. But she was on the ridge. Parallax could have been a thing, which is where you, like, when you observe something from a different point of view from the actual object you observe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the size, it could be different.
Yeah, range.
Yeah.
Definitely range.
And she was looking from an upwards angle down. So that can also skew the height.
Well, it always does. I mean, you can get good range, but I mean, the thing about it is, though, there's landmarks. So that's the cool part about those. So there's a landmark, that a distinct branch, a distinct tree. You know what I mean? There's a distinct rock to where you get somebody or something with a certain height you can get down there and then have the same person look and say yay or nay, taller or shorter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Bigger, wider.
Yes. It's a very, very steep area to get down to, and then it's kind of right on the edge of a swampy area where Bull Creek kind of goes into a little bit of a swampy area.
Same thing the kid described last night.
Yeah.
But the thing, whatever it was, him, he, it,
It
was, yes.
It's 2024.
True. It was moving eastbound.
Head towards town then.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, there are other things down in that area. You'll see, I don't know, like a teepee, kind of, sometimes.
I'm sorry, what?
Sometimes you'll see, like, teepee stuff, like, things.
Okay, so describe
like
the
log,
teepee
like,
thing.
Like, trees that are, maybe 4 inches in diameter, all leaned up.
Those are structures.
Shelter.
There'll be broken trees sometimes, like they're up from the ground, not.
That sounds like tree structures that you're
3 foot up from the ground sometimes.
I'm so going to White County. These are tree structures. Dutch, these are tree structures. So tree structures are being associated with Bigfoot.
I've heard that. I just, they're not always there. Is the thing.
No, I mean, because they don't know whether they're using them for shelter, landmark, or what they're doing, but they'll build them and then they're gone, and don't know whether they're using them for other squatches to recognize and see, what they're doing, and going through the motions of, whether it's a landmark or they're building a shelter. I mean, that's the cool thing about it, and it's fascinating. This is what you need pictures of too. Always take your phone with you into the woods. Dutch, if you take anything away from this episode, always take your phone with you. Start carrying your phone. A, for emergencies. B, for pictures and audio.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anything. You hear the leaves moving all the time, so you never know.
Well, the guy last night we interviewed sent me a video, and you can distinctly hear at one point in time a sharp crack while they're actually looking at the corpse of a deer.
Oh, yes. You'll find random skeletons.
Yeah, when your episode drops, I mean, it's already going to be, his episode will already be out there. So, but, we've actually he's got, he sent me some videos of a mutilated deer they found. And, he said this time they did get smart, and he had his camera out trying to record. Yeah. And while they're recording, he actually sent me, an actual, and he's like, we think we hear like a knock, and it doesn't sound like a knock to me. It sounds like a crack.
So you'll hear like knocking sounds frequently. I haven't heard that on the hunting lease or like where my niece seen the thing, but on the other property, you'll hear like knock, I guess, but it's not loud, at least not the ones I've ever heard like you hear in like the shows.
Well, I think some of those are fabricated
Like
for viewers.
it could be.
Like, I don't think they're knocking wood. I don't think it's wood on wood that they're using. Honestly, I don't. I think it's rocks. I think they're clacking rocks together.
That would make sense. It's easier to.
Yeah, instead of because I don't think they have like axe
Well, they
handles
throw
and
rocks.
baseball bats out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, they throw,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you listen to my encounter on Uncomfortable Cryptids of the Corn or Sasquatch Chronicles, I had a big rock thrown at me, and and then a log breaks like it stepped on something. But I mean, no, I don't think they're like I don't think they're taking baseball bats and axe handles. I don't think Bigfoot has those out in the woods, and that's what he's using to try and get, because there's no solid wood really like that out there that's going to make that sound if you think about it naturally.
No, you'd have to strip the bark off some good oak or something like that, and I don't know if they use tools like that.
Yeah, nobody knows, but I don't think they're doing that. So I think they're using rocks. I think they're clacking rocks. They're smashing rocks together to try and.
It's a more distinctive sound.
It is, and if you think about it, if you smack two rocks together from a distance through the woods and at night, it's going to sound like a what? A tree knock.
It could, that. It could also sound like like a random insect that's at times just a lot louder, obviously.
So that's what I think they're doing. I think they're cracking rocks together. I got far away on that one.
That's possible.
I think they're
Never
cracking
really
rocks
thought
together.
about it.
But now you've heard this on the other property though.
Yes. Yeah, where that's where we don't go into the woods at night.
So, Dutch, you want to go into the woods at night?
We can. I've been out there.
Couple
It's pretty.
old infantry guys will go out to the woods together.
Yeah, I'll go out there. It's it is very, very steep back there.
Well, we recon it during the daylight first.
Yeah. Oh, we can go. There used to be a ton of turkey back there. They've kind of moved out now.
I wonder why. It sounds like Bigfoot's moved in and is eating everything.
Yeah,
because the guy last night, he's had like 4 encounters in like the past 2 to 3 years.
Well, so the knocking and stuff I heard back in the earlier 2000s and even in the mid 90s. That's when I had heard those.
That's crazy.
Now, also in certain areas, you'll find, now they've been bent for a while, but there's bent trees with like half a U in them.
Okay, next time you go in the woods, take your phone with you. I want to take pictures. I definitely want pictures, and I'll throw them on the Facebook page.
Okay.
I have no problem doing that. I'm like, and Dutch, our listener Dutch, episode, I haven't come up with a name for it yet, from episode so-and-so, and here are some more evidence he has sent us. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I need to get that because otherwise it's just, people having to take my word for it. But, I mean, I kind of kept it to myself forever. I contacted you about the swirls, not even about this other stuff.
Yeah,
initially.
I know. And here we are talking about the other stuff.
Yeah.
So what's funny about the other stuff is, in the intro I talked about Blade Media.
Yes.
And the young man that runs it, his name is Blade Dillon. And I'm not gonna mention his last name, Smith. And there you go, Dylan. You're welcome. Shout out, Dylan. What's up, buddy? But me and his dad worked together for a number of years. And so when I started the podcast and I told him, I got a hold of him and said, man, your son did a great job on my graphics. He's like, dude, I saw it. It looks great. He goes, Dylan did that? I said, yeah, man, Dylan did a great job. He's like, oh, man, yeah. Yeah, I just don't really believe in any of this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, but let me tell you about the house I'm living in.
Yes.
Yep. And so his episode is called Want a Mint. And his house is haunted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, as he starts, so the funny part about it, it's where a lot of people are real hesitant to start trying to share, but once you get comfortable enough, and you realize that the person you're talking to and you're visiting with isn't going to be like, going, "Man, you're so full of crap."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that I wasn't there. You were.
Yes.
You know, you're telling me what you experienced and what you encountered and what you heard.
Yeah.
You know, and so and if anybody's going to bash you for that, I mean,
Oh, that's fine.
they
I
don't
don't care.
understand, and they're
I just,
narrow-minded.
I also don't know exactly what I've heard and stuff like that.
That's why it's a cryptid and the paranormal and the unknown. You know, and that's the purpose of the show is that the more encounters that we get, because I'm willing to bet somebody right now is listening to the show and going, "Man, I had the same thing happen. I had the same thing happen." And so the more encounters we can get, the more that we can get to the bottom of it.
I would
And
be
that's across the
interested
board for all the shows, and that's how I look at it for all the podcasts. You know, I
Yes.
don't mind shouting out Cryptids the Corn. Shout out to you guys. You know, Uncomfortable Eric, you're a great guy. You know, Sasquatch Chronicles. Thanks, Wes. I mean, I don't mind getting the shout outs to these guys because they're doing the same thing. You know, I'm doing the same thing they're doing. They're just on a bigger scale than I am.
Yes.
And trying to get enough encounters. And everybody everybody who runs these shows, everybody's had an encounter of some type, whether it been from Bigfoot, the paranormal. Like I tell everybody, I've encountered crazy stuff my whole entire life. And I was a kid in the library as a kid reading books on the paranormal and the supernatural and Bigfoot and UFOs and everything. To where I've had I've had numerous encounters, but I've never had a UFO encounter
I haven't
that I
either,
know
personally.
of. That I know of. I mean, I may have. I don't know. So I may have seen an organic UFO through thermals in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the ground. So that's a whole other thing that me and
Wow.
Justin from Cryptic Corn were talking about. But
That's crazy.
yeah, so don't be afraid to come on the show and definitely share your experiences with us. But
I mean, I'm new-ish to the country. I've been back, I guess. I've only been back about 3 years, so I don't really know anybody anyways other than my family. So, and I have told stuff to my brother, and some of it he's told me. So
well, does your family believe in this stuff too? I mean, you said you don't go in these woods at night.
That's what we've always been told. That's just always been a thing. There was never a reason for that.
They'd never given y'all a reason. Just we don't go to the woods at night.
Yeah, we don't go in the woods at night.
Man, y'all are some good Southern kids because I would have been like going, why? And then I'd be going to the woods at night because I'm the first one to die in a horror movie. And there's Jacob shaking his head yes.
Well, that ridge makes it very dangerous too to be in there at night, especially like back when I was a kid. I'm not gonna run around with a flashlight in my hand, and I don't remember if headlamps were really even a thing back then. I'm sure they existed, but I didn't know about them.
No, most of the time they were like attached like hard hats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in my day they were. I mean, yeah, we had like the old yellow flashlights and stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. I wasn't gonna carry one of them.
In front of you.
Yeah, the big brick too that you could carry around.
Shoot, yeah, you hit somebody with that one, you're gonna kill them.
Yeah.
We didn't care in the 80s.
Yeah,
it was a different time. It was great.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s for me.
We got a helicopter coming in. I don't know if you can hear it or not through the microphone.
Yes, I can.
Can you? That's what I love about recording outside. It's a little bit more ambient. That's why I'm talking about something other than that while the helicopter goes overhead.
No worries.
No, like we were doing one episode. We actually have a fire station, about 4 blocks away from me. And for some reason, I like to use my road to go down. And they were hauling with all sirens going. And right in the middle of an episode. And we had to, edit that part out.
Oh.
That was kind of crazy, though. Because I didn't want the audience to listen to a fire truck go hauling go running down the street. So.
No, that makes sense. And it can be loud on their ears, too. For me, like, those sirens do me no justice. All I hear is ee afterwards. So.
That's all I hear all the time a lot.
Yeah, if it's quiet, that's what I hear.
That's what I hear as well. So, don't go to the woods at night.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all they've ever said about it. Have they said anything about have you told anybody else about the spiral?
Yeah, I told my brother. He doesn't know. I asked my dad, too. He's not sure.
What did he say about it?
I don't know. That's literally it.
That sounds like a typical Southern answer.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Man. Well, you've got more.
Brothers.
You've got more, though, don't you? You've
I
had
do.
some
I
more
got
stuff?
I got a few more. Let's see here. The next one. So this would be around I'm trying to remember back. It's been almost 20 years. 05, 06.
20 years sounds good to me.
I think it was spring. I remember it being pretty nice out. It was in British Columbia, Canada. We were in the mountains near Pemberton, BC. I used to live up in Squamish, which is about 2 hours away from Pemberton.
Okay. Have no knowledge of Canada.
Pemberton is well, it got famous for like a music festival years ago.
Okay.
But they also do. I found out much later on. They do a lot of Sasquatch studies up there. I think it's like the capital for Sasquatch studies. Might be in the world, at least in North America. That and like Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State's huge.
But I'm pretty sure Pemberton, BC is like the mecca for it. But either way, we're up there because I was dating a girl at the time who's Squamish Nation, and we were on our way, actually passing through, going to Lilwat to go fishing out at the river there.
Okay, what nation?
Squamish Nation.
Okay.
Yes, they're Coast Salish peoples. So we drove from Squamish. We stopped near Pemberton. I would say just outside the town-ish proper, and went for a hike. We went out. We hiked up to this. We were gonna hike up this little mountain there, and we go up a couple of hills, come into some low ground valley area with like muskeg. What's muskeg is kind of like a bog.
Okay.
So
kind of like a little bayou area kind of thing.
No, it's like a bog.
Just like a bog?
Yeah, like moss and all that, and you'll sink in, and it can be deep sometimes. It's kind of like a peat bog, I guess, but it's not a peat bog, obviously.
No.
It's still got water in it and whatnot. They can be pretty dangerous. So either way, we came across this muskeg area, and we went around it, and we get around the side. I don't know the directions because it's been so long ago.
That's okay. Don't have to worry about the directions.
I do remember we got off the road on the left-hand side, heading towards like Pemberton.
Okay.
So, either way, we get around this muskeg, and we find a skull.
Whoa.
Now the skull, I don't know the size, like the size of a person's skull. It might have been a bit bigger. I don't. What stood out to me was the teeth.
So it looked humanoid?
It was a human. Ish. I don't know. The teeth were weird. Let's put it that way. I'll explain the teeth. So it was, the skull was like pretty broken down. If it's hard to say. So you know when you find like cow bones out in the field and like the smooth layer is gone and you see like all these ridges below it? That's what it was like the skull.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like algae on it and moss growing on it and stuff. So it'd been there a long time.
Okay.
The teeth. So it had like the normal 4 front teeth.
Okay.
There was no lower jaw also.
Okay, so just the upper part of the skull.
Just the upper part.
Right.
And I can't remember if there was like any cranial damage or anything like that. I remember seeing it, and I didn't want to get too close or touch it or anything for obvious reasons.
Right.
I forget where I was going now.
You're okay. You described the skull. You saw the 4 teeth.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the 4 like immediate front teeth, what would be like what are 2 main?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How they're like the square ones.
Yeah.
So those were normal looking, and then the ones beside that, there was like 2 on either side, kind of like a canine but bigger, and they had like flat areas on them.
Okay, so were they? So they weren't. They were bigger canines, but they weren't pointed.
No, not like pointed. No. So not like vampire teeth.
Right.
They appeared at first kind of like how ours look, are like canines, you know,
Yeah.
but they were longer or whatever, bigger, and they had more than just that ridge to them.
Kind
And
of
there
like a
was two.
gorilla or
There
a
was
monkey?
two on either side,
Okay, like a gorilla or a monkey?
but they didn't point like you know how their
Yeah,
canines are
because
like.
even our canines kind of have a point.
Yeah, they were pointy, but they weren't long like that. They weren't. You know what I mean? When you look at a dog's canines, how they're obviously longer than a human's.
Yeah.
The way they appear.
Were they
weren't.
just fatter?
Yeah, bigger, and like
Huh.
imagine like a molar almost with a couple of.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so it was a fatter tooth than like the narrow canine. So where the
But it was
typical
attached. It
canine
was
would
one.
be,
It was one. It was one thing, and there was two on either side.
yeah. So instead of like having the typical canine, it was a flat tooth. It was wider.
And then there was a molar as well, only one on one side.
Did you call the authorities,
No,
or was
No.
this on like tribal land?
this I don't think it was tribal land. This was 04, 05, or I mean, sorry, 05, 06. So I was about 18 or 19. My girlfriend was about 18 or 19, and her brother was with us. He's the one that actually spotted the thing first, and he was in his 30s.
Okay, so let's talk about the. Okay, so we go through the teeth. What about the top
Yeah.
of the skull? Can you
Oh.
remember any of that?
It was kind of rounded. It had the ridge, but not like it wasn't like super pronounced. Like it didn't appear abnormal, except for the skull itself might have been a bit bigger than what say mine is. But again, it was only the top part. I didn't see the jaw. I don't know. Like there was no other bones around it.
Just the head.
Yeah, just the skull. It was kind of sitting like on its side, essentially looking at us like you'd expect in a movie as we were coming around this corner, and it was on like a stump, an old stump where the
So it was
tree
sitting
had
up
like
on a
fallen
stump.
over. Yeah, the tree had like fallen over. It was an old cedar had fallen over. It was there decaying.
So it had been set up on top of the stump.
Yeah, and the moss was all over it.
So it had been there for a while.
Yeah, and algae and stuff like that. And it was like I said, it looked like when that's smooth. I don't know if it's actually smooth, but it appears smooth. The outer layer of the bone on like cow bones when I found them in the field.
Yeah.
When that layer is gone, it's like ridges, but it's still got the shape and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that area is also like it's a temperate rainforest
Mm-hmm.
up there.
Yeah, we were just looking at it on the map.
Yeah, it connects to like the emerald rainforest and all that. And
Well, here's a wild theory. What if, believe it or not, Bigfoot has warring factions? What if some clans fight other clans? And what if they left this as a warning to another clan not to come into their area?
I don't know. I know.
I'm just spitballing ideas out here.
I know the natives up there have history with them.
Do
they don't
tell.
really. They don't tell you a lot because you're not a member.
Yeah, you're an outsider.
Yeah. But they're like they believe they're interdimensional.
You know, but
Like they believe they come and go.
they believe the same thing out west, actually. There's some tribes out there that do believe the same thing, that they are able to come and go. And that's where some of the swirls come in at that they see painted on rocks.
Yeah.
Is, out in the southwest and in the west, it has to do with it either being a portal. I mean, the best way to try and describe a portal, I mean, I've never seen one that I know of, but I mean, when it comes to Bigfoot, there's so many different, classes and identification that people go into, like the physical, the woo, and then the super woo.
Yeah.
And I was actually having a conversation with somebody, and again, it involves fairies. So I think the super woo Bigfoot are actually fairies.
That's possible.
I think the fairies are manifesting something that's going to scare us.
Yeah.
For some reason, and for whatever, I don't know. I mean, like we talk about hours on that one, to be honest with you.
Well, I know they say that they take kids too So
Yep. They would take kids and women back in the the Native Americans believe that.
I remember them saying something about they would. I don't know if they were joking either. Something about they like to pluck them out of the baskets that they would carry them in.
That's crazy. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, there's Native American reports of them coming into their encampments and taking them, and taking women and children. And then, of course, we have modern day eyewitnesses, and it always seems to involve the kids, where the kids are seeing Bigfoot peeking out their 9-foot window. Their window's 9 feet off the ground. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Bigfoot's peeking in on them. And then there's other reports as well of Bigfoot watching TV, and likes to watch kid shows.
Huh. Like Harry and the Hendersons.
Exactly. So I mean, there's so many different reports, and I mean, it comes down to someone was saying hi. It comes down to, yeah, I forgot I was going with that because someone was driving by honking their horn. Well, I mean, so when it comes to Bigfoot, actually, I look at it as like my experience that I had was a physical and a little bit of woo as well.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I don't even know if it was Bigfoot. I don't know what it was out there that night. I never got a visual, or a smell. A lot of people associate, Bigfoot with smells and stuff. And you get reports of a smell. You get reports of no smell. You get reports of, so many, to where it's hard to,
I've never experienced the smell in my areas with that. Like, I've personally never experienced the smell, but I've heard it in the shows and stuff.
Yeah, well, my theory is like the skunk ape down there in Florida. I actually think it's an ape. I think it's, because you think about circus back in the day, they would travel by train. They'd have train wrecks and animals would escape, and all of a sudden now you got animals living in the woods.
Well, it's like that Mara, I believe it's called, from Patagonia is loose in like Colorado right now or something.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, it's like a rodent. It looks like a skinny capybara, basically. I think it's called a Mara, Mara.
Huh.
And I believe it's loose in like Colorado or Montana, something like that right now. And they're trying to get rid of it.
Understandable.
not hunt it, but they want to
eradicate
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to probably put it in a zoo. I don't know.
That's what we'd like to do over here in America. We'll put everything in zoos. That's why I don't think we'll ever catch a Bigfoot, because the first thing they want to do is dissect it and put it into a zoo.
Yeah, but then you also have the dilemma of, well, is it more ape-like, because then that's animal cruelty, or is it more human-like, because then it could just be torture and murder?
Exactly. Yeah, see, everybody has this theory that Bigfoot is the missing link. I don't believe in a missing link when it comes to people. I think that humans are our own. I don't think we evolved. I have a hard time personally with evolution. I believe in adaptation. I believe that we can adapt to our environment and adapt to certain things. I believe that Bigfoot's done adaptation to it as well, because sharks are still sharks. They have not evolved in millions of years.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the alligator and crocodile has not evolved in millions of years. So if there was a thing of, if this evolution theory is correct, and this is my theory, so I'm sure I'm going to get attacked in emails and everything for this one. But, then why haven't sharks and alligators, how come they're not walking around? How come we don't have, shark people?
I don't know.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's the way I look at it. It's where these, species that have been around for millions of years, like sharks are older than trees.
Yes.
Sharks have been on the planet longer than trees.
Yes.
See, Jacob's rolling his eyes already.
Yeah, I don't believe in stuff like that.
Yeah, because I don't believe in evolution. I do believe in environmental adaptation, i.e., the octopus can camouflage itself. So why can't
you can look at the cat.
Yeah.
Cats don't meow amongst themselves. That's they do that for humans.
Yeah. They want our attention.
Mountain lions, for example, in certain areas they sound like a woman screaming. In other areas they sound like a baby crying.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard a mountain lion at night scream?
Yeah.
It is probably one of the most horrifying sounds in the world to hear.
Dude, I've heard it.
They've been going the last little while up on Turkey Mountain.
Yeah, I've got to go check out Turkey Mountain. I need to go investigate Turkey Mountain.
Yeah, I've heard a bobcat scream at my deer stand.
They've had them in all the way out to Romance, Floyd. People out there got them on their game cameras and stuff.
That is crazy. Okay, so did y'all leave the skull alone though?
Yes, didn't touch it. We
what
went
happened?
back after that.
Did you
And,
go back to the area after that, or was that the first time?
No, that was the first time.
First
But
and
I
last
was
time?
also with Native Americans, and it being so old, we didn't know. First of all, we didn't know how old it is. I was with natives. They don't. It's a traditional area. It may not be native land per se now, but it's a traditional area. There's petroglyphs around. Like we're not.
Well, that's. I mean, yeah, it may not be recognized as a reservation.
I don't know what it
and I'm
was.
using my fingers in parentheses when I say reservation. But to the
Yeah.
natives there, obviously, it's something special for them. It should be
Yeah.
recognized as such. But I think that it sounds. I mean, of course, it's a theory. Just spitballing theories out here. Somebody listening may have another idea. But what if though, to where like monkeys war with each other? Let's just be honest. I mean, so why wouldn't Bigfoot? We do it. We fight with each other all the time. So why wouldn't Bigfoot? So what if they killed one and stuck his skull up there? I mean, the symbol for death throughout history for mankind has been like the skull and crossbones.
It's not like it was on a stake or anything.
No, it was on a stump though.
Yeah, it was on its side.
Yeah, it was right there, kind of sitting on a stump, like it was sitting there, and it may have tipped over from the wind or something.
Yeah, who knows? It was the moss was growing up on it, so it was, and there was like the spots that were bare had like greenish algae or whatever it is growing on it.
So it had been there for a while.
Oh yeah, the cedar tree that it was, that the stump it was on was still there, and it was like decomposing into dirt. You could walk up and pull chunks of it off.
Yeah, I mean that screams. I mean that sounds like a warning. That's a warning sign to me.
Means don't come in our area.
Yeah, don't come here. Danger. And that's what it sounds exactly to me like they put it there, or something put it there as a warning to other things.
Yeah, it's a distraction, or just to say, hey, don't come in this area.
Yeah, you
And,
are
like,
not welcome.
That also wasn't our destination, so like we were just kind of messing around, if you will, and we were on to go fishing. Well, I wasn't allowed to fish, but because it's tribal land, but
Yeah.
they were going fishing.
You were just along for the ride.
Yeah,
They got a
I wanted
skull
to
out of
observe.
it.
I wanted to watch. The way they do it is different. It's called dip netting, and they hang off a cliff, and they got these long, like 30-foot poles with like a net on the end, and they dip them into the river and pull out these salmon, and flip them up onto the shore,
It's kind of neat.
and then they fillet them right there, and they have these racks all along like, because it's like a hill, or obviously there's like a steep cliff going down to the water.
Yeah.
They have these racks, and they cut the salmon, fillet it off, cut it across, and then they hang it and wind dry it. It's called stwan.
It's a neat process.
That is kind of cool. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting watching them how they fish. That like you can't walk down where they're like the cliff where they're fishing. You have to use these ropes are like the metal cables,
Yeah.
and they're permanently anchored into the stone, and they go down on those, and then there's a loop on the bottom, and they hook onto that loop, and they got those nets that are tied off at the top as well, and you just dip down.
That's pretty cool. I would try that.
That is interesting.
I would
try
have
that.
too.
I bet. Yeah, I would have been begging.
Can't.
Make me an honorary guy for an hour. Let me just try it for an hour.
It wouldn't have even been legal though, like government wise.
Yeah, but you're out there in the middle of nowhere, and there's a big skull on a stump that says "Don't come in here." I don't think the government's gonna mess with y'all.
Well, that was before you get to the area where we were going.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Maybe they would go to
Yeah.
that part. Who knows? It's the government. I'm sure the government's the same. Well,
Pemberton's before Lilwat, a good distance, and it's a little bit off the normal trail.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of cool. Anything else in Canada?
no, that's really for Canada. That's about my experiences. That's about it, honestly.
All right. Well, let's summarize real quick. So we've had swirls in the leaves a couple months
Yes.
ago.
In the forest,
Yep.
in 2024. about April.
We've heard some possible tree knocks out there, same area.
So
Turkey
that
Mountain.
would have been in the mid 90s.
That's all right.
earlier
Still there.
2000s.
Yep. Tree knocks in the area. Your niece spotted a giant hairy guy.
Yes, the
Right.
big hairy man.
Big hairy man.
That was in fall, I believe, of 2023.
Yeah, just
It
last
was,
year.
it was soccer season,
Mhm.
so
Roughly about 8 to
I believe
9
that's
foot
fall.
tall.
Yep, 8 to 9 foot tall. Yeah, it sounds like White County is the spot to be at right now in
It's a
Arkansas.
hot spot for Bigfoot.
now there's also a black panther in the area, and Fish and Wildlife will tell you it's not here, but there's a video. There's a video.
Fish and Wildlife said there wasn't a bear in Little Rock either until it was all over Facebook.
Yeah, they also said the cougars aren't here until they started getting all the pictures.
Yeah, same thing with giant wolves. I've got pictures of this giant wolf prints down in Bauxite, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this wolf is huge.
The size of your hand.
So our old farmer neighbor, he's a cattle farmer.
Yeah.
He's got a video of this cat. It's clearly black, not a dark brown, clearly black and clearly larger than a house cat, going through his cattle pasture, heading up towards essentially our hunting lease area.
Going for them turkeys.
Yeah, coyotes, turkeys, bobcat, whatever he can get. But it was black. The tail was thicker. You could see it, like, because it was coming out behind it, and it's thicker. He also had he's had a couple of calves get killed from it, and a mama cow get killed.
Oh no.
From it, yeah.
See, that's a description of a cryptid.
Now the mama cow and the one, well, it got into the one baby. But the mama cow, it didn't tear into. We think it got spooked from it, and it kind of ran off an old dry creek bed, and it broke its neck.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that happening. I grew up with cows. Yeah, they do that. But it went after the calf though, so.
Yeah, the baby was dead
And that was
and tore up.
and that was mauled.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Man.
And there is a video. I've seen it. I don't know. I'll try to get it from him.
Yeah,
He's-
if you can get a copy of that video, send it to me. I'll post it up on their Facebook as well. Say, hey, White County, what's up with the black cat?
He's in his 70s, so he don't, old Southern farmer.
Yeah, I bet he likes you though. He'll share it with you.
That'd be cool to see, though.
Yeah, I'd love to see that video.
He showed me, so that's where I've seen it.
Yeah, no, I believe you. No, I know you've seen it.
Yeah.
I would love to see if you get a copy of it, because I'd love to
Yeah.
see it.
Now, this is the first time there's been a video. There's always been stories of it, though, for years in this area.
Yeah, see, I'm not from Arkansas, so I mean, I've been here for 20 years, but I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there's been stories of it of a black panther in the area for as long as I've been around, and I moved to this area in '86.
nice. That's pretty cool though. Black Panthers, Bigfoots in White County, Black Panthers in White County. Everybody in White County's just. I'm about to blow up White County. You're all about to have like tours from everywhere coming into town.
You'd have to stay in Cabot or Searcy though, because there's not much here.
Not me. I live down the road, so in North Little Rock, I'm covered.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away. That's fine. I don't mind
Yeah.
driving back and forth. But man,
Yeah.
well, Nathan, man, thank you for coming on and sharing these experiences with us. I know you were a little hesitant at first, but I'm
Well,
glad you did.
I got the one that relates to.
You got one more for me?
Yeah, I got one more for you. This
Ooh.
again, this isn't my experience. This is what I was told from my great uncle. He's
Oh.
passed away now.
All right, share away.
He worked for a certain 3-letter agency. He was a pilot.
Okay, so you worked for one of the alphabet soups.
Yeah. Yeah, and the first letter would be the third.
Gotcha. Already kind of put things together especially when you said pilot.
Yeah. So he was a pilot. He's. I didn't know for a long time about his career until basically just before he passed away. But this man would appear in Vietnam during the Vietnam War because his brother was there, my grandfather, and he would be in civilian clothes, like for example, he was in civilian clothes, showed up to my grandfather, his brother's position with a birthday cake in the jungle.
That's pretty cool.
If you, like, when his mother wanted to get a hold of him, she would call a number that was a business, and she was supposed to leave a message. I can't remember what it was, but she would always just ask for him by name, and then within 20 minutes, no matter where he was in the world, she's getting a call. Mama's getting a call.
Okay.
So he, being a pilot, he's done a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of different places and stuff. I can tell you about off air, but
All right.
he's been at he told us he's been at Area 51.
Really?
Yeah, and he's told my uncle more.
Really?
But he's been to Area 51, flying in and out of there. This was sometime between the 70s and 80s.
Okay. Back when it did not exist.
Yeah. I think he was still active even up into the 90s, but I don't know. Again,
Yeah, I have a theory. They don't let people like that retire and just go away. I think they keep them on a retainer. They retire to a certain point. I think you sign a contract when you do this, non-disclosure, blah, 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 blah. And, for something as secretive as, at that time, Area 51, some of these other locations, they will keep you onto it as a retainer pretty much, and they're monitoring you. I mean, they're making sure that you're not going to be, either that or you die in a car accident.
now he's never told me anything about inside, nothing. All we got out of him was, I've been to Area 51. And then the other thing that pertains to you is he has told us he has seen aliens.
Whoa.
There was no description, no emotion when he said it, and nothing more after that. He only told us once.
He just said, yeah, there's aliens.
Well, we were bugging him. We were kids and we were bugging him.
I get
Because
that.
we were asking about stories and stuff, and this was shortly after we had learned about what he had done, or what he was, his career.
Yeah. He just came out and said, yeah, there's aliens.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like that.
I get the point, but yeah. I mean, do you think that maybe he's just trying to tell you all that to shut up, or?
It's possible. He didn't tell us anything more, and there was no emotion with the way he said it. It was a flat tone.
Well, if he was in an alphabet soup and he brought your grandfather a birthday cake on the front lines of Vietnam, he probably didn't have too many emotions that he would visibly have out there.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know looking at him that he did it. You would have thought he was a trucker. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I believe that. Again, I think they put these guys on a retainer and they have certain things they have to make them do. And
well, you would think he was a trucker by the way he looked, big old beer belly, if you will. But he is also a heavy smoker. He was the kind of smoker that was lighting his next cigarette with the one he was putting out.
man, I get that way sometimes. I know it's a horrible habit. I should kick it, but I get that way sometimes. I think it's a military thing, though.
That's just how he always was. Anytime I ever seen him, that's how he was. I'd never seen him quit, so.
So he always had a cigarette in his hand.
He always had a cigarette.
Man, he would hate the price of cigarettes now.
Yeah.
I hate the price of cigarettes.
It's nearly $8 to $9 a pack.
But yeah, he's seen that. He's done a lot of, yeah.
You've got
He's
a
told
really
my
cool
uncle
family.
more.
You've got a really cool family. Has your uncle told you anything? Is your uncle still around, or?
My uncle is still around. It's kind of hard to get stuff out of them.
That's great.
Usually you get it once they get a lot older. That's when it starts coming out of them.
Yeah, those deathbed confessions come out. That's where you get a lot of those reports at, which is sad because we just have to go with what somebody said they said on their deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, like with the whole Roswell experience where there's people on their deathbed that come out and said it was an alien craft, it was this, it was that, and then they're dead. So we have to go off of what the family is saying.
Yeah.
You know, like with Colonel Byrd.
Yeah.
Admiral Byrd down there in Antarctica, to where his son published the book after his father's death and about going into more detail of seeing people in like a lush, tropical area down there and To where his
Yeah.
first account of Admiral Byrd, I don't know if you know anything about Admiral Byrd, but he led an expedition after World War II to Antarctica, a military expedition down there for whatever reason, and
Oh, yeah, I've heard
allegedly
about that.
battled UFOs.
Yes.
So,
I think that was some. Oh no, that's a different story. I was gonna say the Black Pyramid, but that's a different.
I think that's
place.
in
It's
Alaska.
still in the same. I thought that was Antarctica.
I know. I think they just found something in. There might be because I'm trying to jog my memory. I know that allegedly there's pyramids in Alaska. Allegedly there's pyramids in Antarctica. There's places in Antarctica that are no-fly zones, even for the military. Like every country in the world has stated that they are, that nobody can own or claim Antarctica for whatever reason that is.
Yeah, it's scientific only.
Yeah, so there's something to it. There really is something to what's going on in Antarctica, and I would love to go to Antarctica and find out.
Yeah. I've been the other direction.
Yeah.
I've been to the North Pole.
Well, that's pretty cool. I've never been to the North Pole.
That'd be
I
cool.
stood there and looked at the little plaque.
That's pretty neat.
That says that this is the North Pole.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but that's not
every direction
that's
from
not
here
what
south.
That's not what your compass actually tracks, though.
Yeah, there's something about the compass where you have like true north, and then you got magnetic
True
north.
north, magnetic north,
Yeah,
and
when you get up to
there's
that
three
area,
norths.
I was trying to remember the third one. There's true north, there's magnetic north, and there's that other north. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when you get up there, it's allegedly. I've never been there, so.
Yeah.
It's why you set your compass. You set something on your compass called the magnetic declination, and what you're doing is you're tracking the movement of the ore that your your needle actually tracks to point north.
That's it.
And you have to factor in the date of the map, and then the movement, whether it's plus or minus, and then you get your magnetic declination. You apply that direction to your compass, and that'll give you a true north.
That's what you do.
That's kind of neat.
Man. Well, Nathan, buddy, I'm glad you came on board and sharing your experiences with us.
Oh, that's.
I said Nathan, didn't I? Nathan was a guy from last night. I apologize. I got
Getting confused over here.
no wonder why he's looking at me like going, who are you talking to? Dutch, I apologize. So, professional podcasters here. So, we've done interviews back to back to back. We've had like a bunch of interviews we've done lately. So, everybody's names, and I got your name written right here in front of me so I don't screw it up, and I wasn't even looking at the notes. But, Dutch, man, I'm glad you came on board. I really am. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. It's strange for me, just because, like I said,
well, now we got your encounter now. We're going to get it out there, and I'm willing to bet that you're going to help encourage others that come forward as well that probably had similar accounts.
Yeah,
the spiral thing has got me fascinated. It really does.
I'd really like to know about the swirls, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm really curious about that. But, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do some researching into it, and I'll reach out to you. And if I head up in that area, can I reach out and get together? We'll go explore these woods at night?
Yeah, we can go out there.
Sweet. I'm in. All right. Well, Dutch, I appreciate you, man. I really do. So.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
No. Thanks for reaching on out. And, like I said, I'll let you know when I get ready to drop your episodes. That way you can listen to it. So.
Perfect.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, everybody, that was another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. I sure appreciate it. Don't forget, if you've had an encounter, please email me at drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all of them. Give us a like, give us a share. I appreciate all the support. Until next time, y'all stay safe.